The ballroom fell silent when Luca Moretti, the most feared mafia boss in the city, walked toward the woman standing beneath the golden chandelier. Tonight was supposed to be his engagement ceremony, a carefully arranged alliance between two powerful families. Everyone expected him to place a diamond ring on the finger of Isabella, the daughter of a wealthy rival. But in the confusion of the crowded room, Luca reached for the wrong woman. Her name was Elena Rossi. She wasn't a bride, a socialite, or a member of any powerful family. She was the quiet woman who had spent years working behind the scenes for Luca's organization, managing accounts and secretly keeping his business from collapsing. Before anyone could stop him, Luca slipped the enormous diamond ring onto Elena's finger. A gasp swept through the ballroom. Isabella's face turned crimson. Luca looked down and finally realized his mistake. "Elena," he whispered. Everyone expected her to panic. Instead, she stared at the ring for several seconds and calmly smiled. Then she did something nobody expected. She removed the ring. But instead of giving it back to Luca, she placed it on the table beside him. "I think you should give this to the woman you intended to marry," she said quietly. Luca's jaw tightened. "Elena, wait." She turned toward the exit. That was when Isabella laughed cruelly. "Of course she's leaving. She knows she doesn't belong here." Elena stopped. The room waited. She slowly turned around. "You are right," Elena said. "I don't belong here." Then she looked directly at Luca. "But neither does your business." The laughter disappeared. Luca's expression changed. "What did you just say?" Elena reached into her purse and pulled out a thin folder. "For 3 years, I've managed your financial records. I noticed that millions of dollars were disappearing through companies you thought belonged to your allies." She placed the folder on the table. "I found every transaction." Luca opened it. His eyes moved rapidly across the pages. Names, bank accounts, shell companies, and finally one signature. His future father-in-law's. The ballroom erupted in whispers. Isabella froze. Her father stepped forward. "This is nonsense!" Elena shook her head. "No, what's nonsense is believing I would spend 3 years protecting a man who never bothered to learn my name." Luca looked at her. For the first time, he understood. The woman he had ignored had been the person protecting everything he owned. Then Elena pulled out one final document. "This is the real reason your enemies have been able to predict your movements." Luca stared at the page. A list of leaked schedules was attached. At the bottom was evidence connecting several members of his inner circle to the betrayal. Luca slowly raised his head. "Who else knows about this?" "Nobody," Elena answered. "Why didn't you tell me?" She smiled sadly. "Because you never listened when I spoke." The words hit harder than any threat. Luca looked toward Isabella and her father. Security guards immediately surrounded them. The engagement ceremony collapsed within minutes, but Elena didn't stay to watch. She walked toward the doors. Luca followed her. "Elena." She stopped but didn't turn around. "I made a mistake tonight," he said. "You made several." "I put the ring on the wrong woman?" She finally looked back. "No, Luca. You put the ring on the woman you should have noticed years ago." He stepped closer. "I want to make it right." Elena looked at him for a long moment. Then she removed a small key from her pocket. She placed it in his hand. "That's the key to the account where I stored everything you need to rebuild your company." Luca stared at it. "And what do you want in return?" Elena smiled. "Nothing." She walked away. Luca stood motionless. For years, people had feared him because of his power. But tonight, he realized the most powerful person in the room had been the woman he barely noticed. 3 months later, Luca found Elena running a small bakery across town. She had left his organization and started a life of her own. He entered quietly. There was no security team, no expensive suit, no intimidating reputation. Just a man standing at the counter. "I came to apologize," he said. Elena looked up. "And this time," Luca continued, "I didn't bring a ring." She smiled. "Good." He took a breath. "I came to ask if I could earn the chance to know you." Elena studied him. Then she placed a cup of coffee in front of him. "Start with that." Luca smiled. For the first time in his life, the mafia boss understood that love wasn't something he could command. It had to be earned. And the woman he had accidentally chosen that night became the only woman he would ever choose deliberately.